Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then. It's that time again. It's the match preview. The international break has now finished. Club football is back. Leicester City have a big game down at the South Coast this weekend away to Southampton at St Mary's. And what a pivotal game this one is for the Foxes in the run of fixtures now. As Leicester look to build on that win over Bournemouth just before the international break. But I'm going to be joined by Football Martin, who's going to give me an analysis on the opposition, Southampton. We're going to go through a few stats. We're going to chat about each other's seasons so far. And we're going to get into all the debrief stuff. We're even going to look at last time we faced them in the Premier League. And also team selection, score prediction, and much more. Guys, as always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. It would help me out massively. And yeah, let's get my guest in, Mr. Football Martin. Martin, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, mate. Very well. Looking forward to the weekend's game. I know it's going to be a mighty tough one, Jack, that's for sure. I don't think it's an easy game by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think it'll be a real big game for both sides, isn't it? Obviously, Southampton will want the points more so than Leicester, but Leicester will obviously look to get back-to-back wins after beating Bournemouth. Another South Coast side. So, yeah, it's one that it's going to be a tough game, isn't it? Every game's tough in the opponents that you face, but Martin, before we get into the preview, let everybody know what you do at Football Martin.
Yeah, come give me a follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Football Martin _. Loads of Southampton content, but definitely branching out a bit more as the weeks go into other content. Going to be analysing some games, players, ratings and stuff. So I'm going to go a bit deeper, not just Southampton. We're going to do Premier League as well on the channel. So predominantly Southampton focused, but I enjoy creating content. Seem to be spending more time in my studio. So yeah, come and give me a follow. On TikTok as well at Football Martin _. Do a little phone-in show on a Sunday for predominantly Southampton fans, but other fans as well, where people can come and have their say about the weekend's action. So it's always worth joining in. It's 9 p.m. on a Sunday night.
Yep. Let's jump into the opposition. Southampton came up last season after winning the playoffs. 19th this season, 1 point out of 7, 6 defeats in the league. How have you found life back in the Premier League is my first question.
Yeah, it's been tough, Jack. It's not been easy at all. And it looked so hopeful actually on the opening day up at Newcastle. We had a longest away day of the season to kick things off. And we were brilliant up there. Thought we were actually magnificent on the day. It was probably our best performance. I would say it's probably our best performance of the season, actually. I thought we were really good up there. I've watched every game. Other than Brentford, I was at a wedding at the Brentford game. So I missed that, but I did watch it on my phone. But it's been tough. I don't think the fixtures were... I thought they weren't that horrific, to be honest. But
are you all right, Martin?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm okay. Tired. It's been a long week, Katie. It's been a long week. I've done a lot of previews on this game. But yeah, I think we did it. But I didn't think it was a horrific run of fixtures. We just haven't got the points that we required out of it. We needed the 3 against Ipswich, team that got promoted with us. We didn't get it, but we really needed it. Failed to get the 3 points against them. 96-minute winner from Sam Morsley. We went down to Bournemouth and we got proper tonk down there 35 minutes in and we're 3-0 down. We're still trying to play the same football. But I think it's interesting because I think a lot of the fans want to see results now, but results will probably require a different style of football. Whether that manager's going to do it, I'm not sure he will. But then Leicester City, on the other hand, they've got a manager that's totally changed their style of football, your style of football. You've actually got results on the board already. You've got a win, got some points in the bag. You're the best of the promoted side. But everybody's not enjoying the football so much. It's a catch-22, isn't it? Do you want to stay in the division or do you want to play pretty football? We're playing the pretty football. We're struggling to get results with the player and the personnel we've got. It's been a really disappointing start, Joe.
Yeah, I think with Leicester, we've had to adapt to the Premier League, haven't we? Same as Ipswich, Southampton, but I kind of, it's new manager in it, new set of plans, new identity and stuff like that. Sometimes it's been frustrating regarding team selection and that, and Steve Cooper, the man who not many Leicester fans wanted, to be quite frank, Martin, but if you look at Steve Cooper's time at Leicester so far, 6 points out the opening 7 games, just averaging just under a point a game. And, I think to be fair, Martin, it's been a steady sort of start for Leicester. We could have had more points if we beat Crystal Palace, and obviously it was a much needed win against Everton, which we didn't get. We ended up drawing in a big game like that one, and then you get to the Bournemouth game and you win the game, and I think it's a much needed win for Steve Cooper. I think it's that real sigh of relief that we have been wanting that win in the opening 7 games, and we got it against Bournemouth. And you look at the first half performance, and I thought we were fantastic. The transition in play, the way we played, and we could have had 2, but just not long before half time with Jamie Vardy. But then you look at the second half, we showed resilience, fight, real character, and I think with Leicester, the players are really fighting. I know there's been reports of the players not happy with Steve Cooper's football and this, that, and the other, but that's all hearsay, isn't it, Martin? You don't know what goes on behind the scenes in football. The media like to report and rumour a lot of things, don't they? And I think it's been a steady start, 15th in the table. I think if we ended the season now, we'd be very happy as Leicester fans. And like I say, when Steve Cooper came in, it was the whole PSR situation. You got to credit Steve Cooper for coming in at that point of the season where we never knew what was going to happen, and we didn't know what was going to happen with points deductions and all that. And obviously we escaped the points deduction, which is magnificent news for Leicester. It's I feel now though, Martin, it's the clear thing is that we're in a race of the same race now. We all started on the same points. None of us are going to get points deducted. I'd say it's an all-square game for Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich in the fight for staying up this season.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's the 3 new promoted sides we're always going to be the ones under pressure. I was listening to the radio today, actually, and can't remember who it was on the show, but we were talking about the Premier League and the divisions within the Premier League and how the promoted sides really struggled last season. You look at the 3 that went up, went straight back down. The 3 that gone up this time, they're all tipping us to all 3 of us to go back down. I think Saints and Ipswich probably will, to be honest. I think Leicester are the best equipped out of the sides, actually. I think the manager as well, though he's not particularly liked by the fan base, I think he'd keep you up because he'd make you hard to beat, he'd make it ugly, and he'd get you results, which inevitably is what you need. My camera's frozen again. Sorry, it will come back. It will come back. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's back now. Sorry, mate.
There we go. It's back now. Carry on.
Yeah, my battery's low. So going back to it, I think going back to what I said on the radio today, I think you end up finding that there will be a breakaway Super League. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think it's the top teams. There's just such a gap, isn't there? The resources in finance to play against as well. It's just a huge gulf. We played against Arsenal the other week, and it was just they didn't even get into out of second gear really. And if they fielded their strongest side and really went for us, it could have been they'd take you apart because they're that good. These teams are that good, and it's a tough division to play in. And we all want to be in it because of the money, but it becomes a little bit unenjoyable when you get beaten every week. I've got to be honest.
How have you found the transition from the Championship to the Prem under Russell Martin? I know Southampton fans are frustrated with the style of football. He's not willing to change it. He said that. And
Mm,
how do you take that as Southampton fans? Obviously, Talksport a few weeks ago did go on about how Ipswich and Southampton are the only ones to not change their style of football from last season,
mm,
because they've now took it into the Premier League as well, which I guess when you go up to the Premier League, you've always got to have that change,
mm,
you've changing format, because when teams know how you play in the Championship, these Premier League sides, they're going to know how your weaknesses and how to
mm.
take you apart. But how have you found the transition from the step up from the Championship to the Premier League?
I think some players, some personnel will find it really difficult, if I'm honest. Flynn Downs is a pretty classic example of that. Played really well
Mm,
against Ipswich, a team that could promote with us, but maybe found it a little bit harder in some of the bigger games against the bigger opposition. It's been tough for him. Taylor Harbour-Bellis was outstanding in the Championship, really struggled to step up. He's done okay, but he's not been outstanding by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I think it's a transition, but also like the style of play as well. You know, the football they want to play. It worked okay in the Championship, but
yeah.
still conceded 64 goals in the Championship last season, and really and truly only just got up. You know, only just. So it was always going to be tough. So yeah, they're still adapting. But there's not time. There's just not that much time, is there? It's so unforgiving in this division, isn't it? It's so unforgiving. Yeah, and we need to find a way to win football games inevitably, and that might be different personnel, but it could be a different way of playing football. But you know, the statistics don't lie at this moment in time for Saints, because you know, we're at the moment with the joint second for the most goals conceded, and we've
Mm.
scored the least amount of goals, 4. So you've got to be good in both boxes to win games at any level of football, certainly in the Premier League.
This is it. Martin, I want to touch on one player from Southampton, Tyler Dibling. The young
Mm,
lad comes in this season. He's been highly spoke about on the South Coast of how good he is technically, and his real positive vibe that he
mm.
brings to the team. What have you made of Tyler Dibling this season? Has he been that real um, change for what Southampton needed? Do you feel? Do you think he's really stepped up as a young lad on? Because it kind of feels like he's a young head on older shoulders, isn't it? If you look at him as a player.
Yeah, mate, he's brilliant. He was brilliant in pre-season. He was absolutely brilliant. You know, he was so good in pre-season. It was obvious that he's been raring to go for a little while. Actually, He's pushing for a first team squad place last year, and he got a few runs in the FA Cup. He's been brilliant at every age group that he's played at for Southampton. He's been
Mm,
really really good. Um, it, and I think he was. I think he went into the squad. I'm trying to think if he was involved in the first match day squad. No, he was at Newcastle. He was involved in the first match day squad. Didn't start against Newcastle. Didn't start the home game against who did we play at home? Forest. He come in against Man United. So his first game was against Man United, and he was brilliant. It was absolutely superb. Caused the fullback endless issues. Won the penalty. Archer missed it, but he's brilliant. Scored his first goal against Ipswich, and it was a really good goal. He took it really, really well. But yeah, he's a magnificent player. I've got to say, he's got a great potential. He's already played for England under 18s. I think he's played 16, 17s already for England. He's going right to the very top, and he is the shining bright. He's a the shining spark within what's been a tough start.
last season, Leicester took us apart at St Mary's, didn't they? Yeah,
Mm,
me and Martin spoke about that after the game, how good Leicester was, how poor Southampton was at that pivotal game, and I
mm.
think did it take you about 8 games or so, Martin, to get started. Then you went all of a sudden on
Mm.
this 20-odd game run where no one expected in the league, and then
A lot of
Southampton
draws.
really come to life, and that really made you push for the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it did. The game against Leicester was horrible at St Mary's from a Southampton fan's perspective. It was horrible. First 45 minutes were probably the worst we played all season. Got proper took apart. But credit to the manager at the time, because we analysed it a bit on my channel the other day. The way that you beat us, and
Mm,
the pace and the power of Mavididi and Fatawu, and the pulling of the strings in midfield of Winks and Drewsbury Hall in both fixtures. And I think if Cooper should be looking at that, how you beat us last season, we should certainly be looking at how you beat us. That's for sure. But yeah, we went on that unbeaten run and we were good. There was a lot of draws in it, but we went 21 games unbeaten in league, 25 in all competitions. It was pretty incredible. It was a club record. It did magnificent, really, to do that. But obviously, we still fell short. At the back end of the season, we did tail off, and we lost some bad games there. Really late on against Ipswich was not nice. The game down at Cardiff against pretty much their under-18s, we threw it away in the last seconds of the game down there, and it was a tough end. We lost to Stoke last home game of the season, but obviously got over the line in the playoffs. So we didn't play a lot of football in the actual playoff final, but got up, and that's the most important thing. But there is we talk about records. There's a record for 21 games unbeaten, but there's a horrible Premier League record that could sneak in tomorrow, because Saints are winless in 20 Premier League games. They've drawn 5, lost 15. That's across obviously the season we were last in the Premier League and into this season. A failure to win tomorrow against Leicester would see a club record for the longest winless run in the top flight in the club's history. Their last win, Southampton, in the Premier League actually come against Leicester City in March in the last season we were in the Premier League. So quite an alarming run of form, really, in the top flight. So hopefully we don't break history tomorrow. I don't think the Southampton fan base are that positive about this one, actually. I think it's a game that will be tense from any Southampton fans' perspective tomorrow.
Martin, I want to touch on what Nick Nat's comment. Russell Martin. I mean, it's not been the best of starts. How much pressure is he under? And how key are these run of games now for Southampton in him potentially keeping his job?
No, I think he's obviously going to be under pressure, because it's a results-driven business, inevitably, and every ownership and every club wants to be at the top level. And look, there'd just be a decision to be made, wouldn't there? If we don't start winning games and start scoring goals and finding different ways to win games, and not learning from our mistakes, it will inevitably cost him his job, won't it? It's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? I think a lot of people were saying that there's a lot of statistics, and that builds even more pressure, and people talking about it builds more pressure. But it's all out there in the public domain. It's no stranger. It's being in the Premier League. Unfortunately, you're under the microscope, so everything you do is magnified, because you've got all these broadcasters, Sky, TNT, Match of the Day. They are constantly looking at it, and they will constantly pull statistics out. And there's YouTubers, there's TikTokers. It's everywhere now, and that's just how football is this day and age, unfortunately. So these are professional people, professional footballers, and they've got to deal with the pressure of it. But you as a manager, he will have to find a way to tweak it, if it's a tweak, to get results.
Yeah, football's a points-based game, and if you don't get the points on the board, then you lose your job quite convincingly. Southampton should have beat Ipswich, only 5 minutes away from winning. Michael talks about both managers, Steve Cooper or Russell Martin. Which manager is likely to lose their job first? I mean, you look at all managers, but then you look at Gary O'Neill at Wolves as well, who's at the foot of the Premier League table, who have not really had a good start either. So I think you add his name into that mix. Ten Hag at Man United is another one who some say would get sacked first this season, but every manager's under pressure in any league, and you've got to be winning the games and getting the points. I think what gives the relief of Steve Cooper that he picked up that win against Bournemouth, that much needed win, which would potentially help us now to go and push on. But Southampton are still looking for that win, and I think it's increasing pressure for Saints if they don't beat Leicester.
Yeah, I think there's more pressure on Southampton to win this game than I would say there is Leicester, because I think Leicester have that win under the belt. Steve Cooper, I think he'd be fine. Everybody's like they're not massively hammered with him, but I think he'd keep Leicester up. I think he will keep
that's just
Leicester
the
up.
aim, isn't it, Martin, for Steve Cooper to keep
Yeah,
Leicester in
sure.
the
I
league?
think
That's what's
surely
been
the
brought in
aim
for.
for both Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich is to stay in the division.
Yeah,
And like, not everyone's going to like the style to do it.
this is
There's
it.
different ways of playing, and that's just the way it is. But it's a really tough division, isn't it? Like I was talking about, the gap between the leagues is massive. It's just huge, and you just have to find a way to get results and grind them out. And inevitably, you'll be judged at the end of the season whether you stay up or not. But yeah, I think Cooper's probably been recruited because he knows the league inside out, and
Kept Forest up.
Kept Forest up. He knows it inside out, and inevitably, by the time we get to May, you know if it was the right decision. But I do think he still has a good pool of players to work with. I really do. I think Vardy, though it feels like he's been around an eternity, he certainly has a very good record against Southampton's. It's Jamie Vardy. I give it to you yesterday on Championship predictions. But Jamie Vardy has 12 goal involvements versus Southampton, 8 goals, 4 assists versus no side has he had more. 6 of the 8 goals that he scored against Southampton have been at St Mary's, including a hat-trick in 2019. And I'll leave that one there.
Yeah, I'll leave that one there before someone starts putting different digits in. Martin, the big game at St Mary's then on the South Coast. Southampton versus Leicester. Give me your thoughts ahead of this one. We'll get on to scores and that later on, but how big of a game is this one for both sides?
Bigger for Southampton, must win for Saints. Absolutely must win. A point won't be good enough. Not in a home game. It cannot be another draw against a newly promoted side. We did beat Leicester over the 2 games last season. Fairly decent record in the Premier League against Leicester. I think since the 9-0 defeat at St Mary's, I don't believe we've lost in the Premier League against Leicester. So that's one omen for us. But yeah, we have to win it. We have to win it. And I think first goal will be vital tomorrow. I really do. And hopefully that goes our way. But yeah, we'd have to dig in. Everyone needs to give 100%. The fans need to get behind their players and the manager, and they will do. And just hopefully we can get it over the line and get those big 3 points in the bag, and we can enjoy the rest of the weekend.
I think this one's a must-win for Leicester as well to really push on with the run of fixtures. You look at our run of fixtures: Southampton Saturday, Forest next Friday. Then we've got Ipswich Town away, Manchester United away in the league, and there's some crucial games for Leicester at this point, and Steve Cooper will hope to get as many points as he can out of these games. And I think it was the first season Forest went into the Premier League under Steve Cooper. The only away game that he won was Southampton away. I think it was 1-0. So he'll look to win the game tomorrow, but I think it's about picking the right squad. I kind of can't see him. If he's going to change, I don't think it'd be many changes. I know the fans want to see Fatawu in there, and but we've got to get at Saints. We've got to exploit their weaknesses. We've got to really go and play with confidence, take that fight to Southampton, and because Southampton are a side that like to play around the back, Martin, and Leicester have got to really push that, and kind of break up the play at times, and really win that midfield battle. I think that midfield battle, what we spoke about on your channel, is key as well. Obviously, Flynn Downs against Wilfred Ndidi, and it's always pivotal to win that. But yeah, I think the boys are going to be flowing with confidence after that win against Bournemouth, and they'll hope to make it back-to-back wins in the Premier League on Saturday against Saints. But it's a tough game. It is a tough game. Leicester can't overlook Saints by any stretch of the imagination. I know Saints are struggling, but Leicester have got to get them points. And I think 3 points for us is crucial to help us push on and get us away from that. Give us that little more relief away from this relegation battle thing. Because a lot of people are calling it the mini league, aren't they, Martin, this season with what's happening at the minute?
Yeah, and it is a mini league. There's no doubt about it. I think there's several mini leagues within the Premier League. You've got that bottom sort of 5, 6, then you've got like almost like the top of the bottom half of the table where Bournemouth are kind of fighting for that sort of like top of the top, that that bottom 10. And then you got the group chasing the European places, and then you got like the standout at the top end. So I think it's a brutal league. It really is. I think it's got, since we were both in it last time round, I think it's a lot harder than it was. Wolves have started poorly, but they'll come good. There's no doubt they will come good, and you just got to make sure you beat people around you. You have to set your targets, your home games. No disrespect to Leicester, but Southampton will need to target that as a game that they need to be winning if they want to stay up. This is just how it is, because they're a team that got promoted with them, a team in and around them. And Leicester will do the same. You play those sides at home. You've got Ipswich away in a couple of weeks, I think it is. It's a game you want to win. You have to go there and try and get a result or walk away with some points. And that's what I want to see from Southampton. And I think you're kind of looking for those wins around you, points away from home against those teams around you if you can, sneak wins, and keep chipping away. It's the only way to stay up.
Yeah, I agree. You've got to beat teams around you to stay up, and obviously get points against other teams further up the table as well. Your home games are key. Jack, which Southampton food outlet will you be doing for your food vlog tomorrow? I'm sure Martin will show me a few spots tomorrow when I meet.
It's a bit around the ground. There's a bit around the ground. It's kind of in a location where there's not loads of food there. You've got this season, St Mary's has changed. So if you're a Leicester fan coming this weekend, there's loads more to see. So the whole around the ground, there's there's fan zones everywhere. There's a nice big one behind where the away fans were last year. So that Southampton fan zone's decent, to be fair. The whole match day experience is like head and shoulders above where it was. Loads of more food places, duck wraps, you've got burger stalls, noodles, everything going on. There's a guy that does a really good job there, actually. So it'd be good. We'll find somewhere good to get your food, and you can do a food review, Jack.
Fantastic. Last 5 at St Mary's in the league, Martin. In league competition, the last 5 played 5. Southampton's won 1. Leicester's won 2. 2 draws. Obviously, a few people have put it down as a draw tomorrow, haven't they? Some have said 1-1, some have said 2-2. But I think both teams are going to give it their all tomorrow, and both sides want to win the game rather than draw. But Martin's gone. But last time out in the Premier League, Leicester lost 1-0 against Southampton. Charlie Alcaraz with the goal, and yes, it's not a season we'd want to remember, to be honest. And Martin.
Sorry, disconnected me.
No, it's all right. I've just touched on the one last time round in the Premier League versus Saints. 1-0 defeat for Leicester. I think that was the one where you haven't won an home game since August. I believe you beat Chelsea, but then come months in there, and then you said to me, Jack, we ain't won for months here. I think the last win was like August or September. I think it was at that point. But
only 2 wins that season.
Defeat for us.
Only 2 wins for Saints that season. And like I said earlier on in the show, that last Premier League win for Saints was against Leicester. All those months ago.
Can I do a beer review, Martin?
I don't really drink beer personally.
Hello again, Dawn. Dawn's in. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Terry. But yes, that weren't a great performance. I think Harry Suter at the crossbar as I was aware in that game, and we had Danny Ward in goal, and it didn't really go well that season after him replacing Kasper Schmeichel.
No.
Yeah, both sides ended up going down, didn't they, Martin? Not long after. Martin, team selection. How does Saints line up for this one? Any injuries? How do you set up formation wise, and what kind of team do you think Russell Martin puts into this one? Do you make changes from the Arsenal game?
He doesn't know his best team, which is a bit of an issue. No one's come back from international duty.
Steve Cooper, Martin.
Yeah, no injury concerns. Some good news though. Will Smallway's back from injury.
Yeah.
Kamaldeen Silamana, who's not made a squad this season. He's been injured. He's spoke very highly about him actually in his press conference this week. He said that he has a different Kamaldeen on his hands right now, which is brilliant news. And hopefully Silamana can play a part tomorrow because he's a good player, big, powerful, wide man. He's got a bit about him. His record signing. I think he might come in tomorrow. Dibling will play off the right. I think Cameron Archer play through the middle. And I think the midfield will probably be made up of Downs, Aribo. I'm not sure Smallbone will come back in, but there'd definitely be Downs and Aribo. That's for sure. That's what I think. And he play obviously in the 10. Mateus Fernandez are playing the 10, but behind Cameron Archer, and the back four will be the usual back four. Yuki Sigurara, Carl Walker-Peters at left back, Harwood Bellis, Jan Bednarek, and the mighty Aaron Ramsdale in goal, who, by the way, is brilliant.
Do you think bringing Ramsdale in goal now, do you think that's kind of helped you a little bit with the goals that you have been conceding?
Well, if it hadn't been for him, we would have conceded a lot more goals. He's been brilliant since he come in. It's a funny move for him, actually. I don't know what else he had on the table, to be honest. But
No.
his family are south, so it makes sense. Good money. They've offered him the same money he was on at Arsenal, which is amazing. Great effort by the club to bring him in. Paid a lot of money for him. Most we've ever spent on the goalkeeper. And yeah, he's brilliant, but you can't ask for a better goalkeeper, like Nick Knack says in the comments. I totally agree with him. I just think the way we play football at this moment in time gives a lot of opportunities to the opposition, and we're getting peppered. He's getting peppered, but he's a great goalkeeper. It's not made a massive difference at this moment in time because we haven't won a game with him there. But you know, in the games I've seen him, he's prevented goals every time. He's a great shot stopper, good distribution. Should be in the England squad for me from what I've seen. I think he's one of the best in the country for England anyway.
Leicester's team, Hermanson in goal. I think he's been terrific so far. Matt Hermanson has stepped up from the Championship to the Premier League very well. He's been called upon many times this season, though. It's like teams have had more shots against us in our box than we've had against them, which needs to change, Martin. We need to be more attacking in their box, you know what I'm saying? I think against Arsenal, he made about 13 saves. If he'd saved one more, I think it would have been the Premier League record for the most saves in the game. I think, Hermanson in goal. Fat and Nicole will be the centre-back partnerships. I think them two are really starting to build a resilient partnership. Christensen, left-back. James Justin, right-back. I think James Justin's now starting to play with a bit more confidence in these last few games. Midfield two of Oliver Skipp and Wilfred Ndidi. I thought they was good against Bournemouth. And then we've got the wingers, Stefan Mavididi out left. I'd like to see Abdul Fatah out right, to be honest, Martin. It's a shame Steve Cooper's changed it really early on, though, from what was working last season really well to he's come in and dropped Fatah, and we've not really seen enough of him this season at all. Only probably not even a handful of minutes on the pitch. Hopefully we'll see him tomorrow, but I can just see him going with Jordan Ayew, to be fair. Facundo Buonanotte, I think he'll start. He's been a real influence to that team this season with Leicester. Scored a few goals. He's the man who creates quite a bit. And he's a young spark, and you can kind of see why Brighton don't want to get rid of him, because there's huge potential there, and he's a real passionate player. And the man you mentioned early on in the show, Jamie Vardy, the talisman up front, and I'm sure he'll be one who would like to get another goal to add to his collection against Southampton. But I think it'll be the ideal game for Fatawu. I agree. I think we've got to attack the game well tomorrow from the start. We've got to really get at it from the start and go and give it a real good go. Mavididi, another one. Yeah, of course, Saints problems last season, didn't they, Martin? Fatawu and Mavididi, I think, in the two games that they played against Saints.
Yeah, they did. Though when we analysed it the other day, you looked at the two wide men caused the fullbacks endless issues. Certainly, Fatawu against Ryan Manning, he was really, really good on the day, wasn't he? Really, really tore him up. Got him behind both fullbacks a lot. Be surprised if he didn't play those two tomorrow, just and go like they did last year. But obviously, different manager, different way of playing. But Saints are definitely there to be got at if he wanted to with those players. They're at his disposal. Yeah, be some interesting matchups tomorrow. I think there'll be some really interesting matchups. Vardy versus Harwood Bellis and Bednarek. He got the better of both of them last year in both the games, didn't he? Vardy? I think he scored in both games. He worries me tomorrow because we didn't deal with him, and he still looks fit as a fiddle.
Yeah, he's not just a goal scorer, is he, Jamie Vardy, Martin? People only look at him as a goal scorer. If you look at his all-round game off the ball and that, he's still a nuisance. You know, I know he likes to wind up the opposition fans and that when the opposition fans chant him and that, and he really likes to wind them up after they've gave it to him, Martin. Just leave Buonanotte on for the full game. Yeah. I think Steve Cooper, has got to get his substitutions right tomorrow and the timing of them as well, because that's going to be key. And Martin, the last question is score prediction.
Score prediction.
What's your head and what's your heart, Martin, for this one?
My heart is a 2-1 win.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say what I put in our WhatsApp group, but I was late with it anyway. I was about a day late anyway. Absolutely useless on that. I didn't even know there was a cut off. But no, I'd say 2-0 defeat. I wouldn't be surprised to see. But I've got to go my heart, 2-0, 2-1 win. My head, probably get beaten 2-0.
I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 win to Leicester. Vardy to get a goal. And hopefully we'll see Fatawu, but we'll see what happens, what Steve Cooper's got in mind regarding team selection. But love Vardy, but Cooper's burning him out. Yeah, there's going to be times this season, though, Terry, where you've got to kind of like change it a little bit. Maybe Edward will get a few runner games at the start. But
he's had 2 weeks rest going into this one, though. He's had 2 weeks rest. He'll be fine. He's an athlete, this bloke.
I don't think we also have his subs. Timings. Yeah. But no, thanks for coming on, Martin, as always.
You're welcome.
Really good to speak to you.
See you, mate. Thank you.
Let everybody know where they can find you, Martin, before I let you go, mate.
Yeah, at Football Martin _ YouTube, TikTok. I'll be joining Jack tomorrow. I'm going to get him on my channel with his bit of a thoughts on the team news if I can see him before kickoff on my match day vlog. And check it out. Fan cam coming your way tomorrow. I will get Leicester fans on. I will get Southampton fans on. I have all the build-up. I have all the post-match as well, all across my channels all weekend long. So make sure you give us a follow.
Appreciate that, Martin. All the best after Saturday, Martin, for the season.
Thank you, mate.
See you later.
See you, mate.
I was Football Martin. Great guest as always. A big game tomorrow on the South Coast. Can the Foxes come out on top and grab them crucial 3 points and carry on kicking on with the season? There'll be a match day vlog out as I'll be at the game tomorrow for Saints away. Looking forward to club football being back. Also, go and check out the Premier League predictions week 8 as we predicted all the games for the weekend. Guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, it'd be much appreciated if you can do that. A lot of football content goes into the channel, so if you can subscribe, if you're a neutral who loves football or even support Leicester City, and go and subscribe to the channel, it'd be much appreciated. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this stream. I'd appreciate it. And see you tomorrow, Terry. Where are you drinking tomorrow? Should be around the grab, mate. If you see me, come and say hello. And the Premier League predictions week 9 will be back next week. We've also got the build-up for the East Midlands derby. It's Leicester take on Forest at the King Power. We'll be driving 5 hours to the American football game, but I'm convinced my wife is just so I can watch the game. Big up. But no, thanks for watching, everyone. Keep it at the final whistle. And come on, the Foxes.
Hi all, thank you for watching the final whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share and subscribe to the channel.